What is going on, everybody? This is the first video on our HD horror channel.
Correct.
So a lot of people are going to look at it and be like, HD horror, and be like, oh,
What do you guys do that's different?
high definition horror. No, it's HellaDepraved Horror.
Right.
Yeah. HD horror. For those of you that are new, this is our horror channel, where everything we do on this channel is going to be based around horror, whether it's movie reviews, video game playthroughs, book reviews, other videos we have planned. We plan on doing like a comparison series for remakes with their original counterparts. A lot of
Tier
stuff.
list, top 10 list, stuff like that.
Our plan.
Torture pounds. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Torture
Like,
Ralph.
Or torture pounds.
Torture
I
Ralph.
mean, we are hella depraved.
Right.
I love it. Just
He
torture.
tried to walk out on us.
I was about. Swear to God, bro.
He's trying to stage a protest.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
this was a good time. Have a good day. I forgot
He
my
was
water
like,
bottle.
You're not going to get it with this video specific, but what we want to do with the channel, so for those of you that are new, we actually do music reactions on our first channel, which is just Hella Depraved.
And that includes horror theme, spooky theme,
Right.
whole 9 yards, but it's all there.
Right. That's for this month. We typically do a little bit of everything, really, music reaction-wise.
Right.
Our plan in the long run, starting off, is to do something on this channel once a week. I know which does not seem like much, especially starting off. But and unless this channel just starts to do absolute crazy numbers,
Right.
that we just don't have a lot of time to record all the reactions that we do. And another thing we want to do with this channel is actually have it in the long run be more produced. So you're going to get cuts. Fun
Edits.
little edits, like zooming in on people's faces, whatever happens. You know.
However, the reaction channel is
The reaction channel is
absolutely our first time reaction, and you get it unedited.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is the long term, well, the short to long term goal. Our long term goal, if things panned out the way we like, is for the horror channel to become our main channel. At which point we would be able to do 2 to 3 videos a week. We could cut down to like 1 or 2 reactions a day, as opposed to what we're doing now.
Right.
But there's some catching up to do if that's ever going to happen, because right now we're almost at 10K subs over on the reaction channel,
Right.
and I'm expecting this honestly to have an extremely slow start,
Which is
fine.
yeah.
It's just
that's
something
fine.
we love to do.
Cool.
Uh,
I'll be watching. Just
So-
watching you guys.
Yeah, for our first video, we actually have a guest.
we have a guest. So
Oh no, I was gonna just watch you guys regardless. I was like, hey, because I stalk your family. Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, like, not per the norm though.
Right,
We
right.
have a guest right away.
So straight off the
Sure.
bat, we've got Mr. Pounds here.
Hello.
This is Ralph Pounds. He
Hey.
is my co-host over on our Marvel channel. You guys are like, damn, what all do you do? Yeah,
I try, man.
We do a Marvel podcast every Tuesday or every Monday and Thursday. We drop new videos,
Right.
as well as we're on Spotify.
It's not me.
And all those fun things.
We bring you in sometimes.
It's just us. That is called the Ralph and the
Ralph
Pounded / Marvel Media Podcast.
Right.
A lot of fun there.
Yeah.
So if you're into Marvel, go check that out.
And comics
Now,
and crap.
why are we here today? Well, if you clicked into the thumbnail, you know why we're here today.
Because
We-
Halloween kills.
We definitely killed my vibe. So
Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
we are here to talk about the new Halloween Kills. We are thankful we got to watch it on Peacock, because if I'd have spent over $40 to watch this fucking movie,
I would have had a Halloween Kills moment. Oh my God.
I might have
Yeah.
turned into Michael Myers.
In that theater. Oh Lord.
That's why Ralph here almost. I mean,
We saved
he
him.
doesn't sneak anywhere really, but he was trying. He was trying to sneak out of our house,
This is gonna be the
And-
first time I
and
would walk out
not
of this
do
house.
the review.
Damn, he done walked out.
He was
Is
so
he coming back?
excited to do the review, and then he saw the movie, and those last 5
So-
minutes, I saw his face change, and then he stood up and looked pissed,
I was like, this
and
is
was
great.
looking everywhere, like, super, yeah, no,
I was about to shake your hand. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the time.
yeah,
Where that damn cat at? Thank you for the time.
bye.
Bye. Like,
Yeah.
did he just actually leave? Did he start the car? Is he coming back?
Right.
Probably not. Right.
Probably
See you
not.
Monday. Shit.
Yeah.
So one of the ways we want to do our horror movie reviews, I've always had a very solid stance on horror movies. I feel like you can really just rank them in 3 categories.
Right.
Gore, story being obviously most important. Gore's just always the first that pops in my head. Gore, story, and acting. I feel like if you have all three, you have a fantastic movie.
You have a solid movie.
Yeah.
I feel like if you have two of the three, it's a good movie.
Right.
One of the three, you can watch it, but you'll probably never watch it again. 0 of 3, it's a shit show. Sometimes those are also great. We just love horror.
Right.
But
that's only a sometimes, though. They have to be done the craptastically right way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the first one I want to talk about, we'll save story for last.
Sure.
Because, why not?
There are going to be spoilers, y'all.
Yeah, this is not spoiler free.
We're about to spoil the shit out of this movie.
We're spoiling all the things. All the things. So
they
consider
were all
this
spoiled
now.
For us.
Yeah.
So let me just give you a quick spoiler-free synopsis.
Go nuts, man.
Watch it, but don't spend money on it.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, don't give them your money.
It's good. It's not great. It's not terrible. The last 15 minutes will probably piss you off.
Right.
Okay. So, entering into overall spoiler territory.
As you see. Prime example. We've had a couple days to recover, and then we just rewatched it.
To give you
we're
not.
To give you a little bit of backstory with Ralph. So this is what's fun about this. So we actually watched it the day it came out.
Right.
As soon as I got home from work, because I got home at about 2, we recorded our reactions. We watched the movie, and I got to go into work the next day, and Ralph was like, "So how was it? Did you watch it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I watched it." I said, "Now." His original plan was to wait until he goes to Universal with his mom.
Studios. Yeah, with the family.
Make it a big affair. Go to the movie theater.
They were gonna go to the theater to see it, and I told him, I said, "Dude, it's not even worth waiting."
Right.
I said, honestly, just go to one of the local theaters here. Go spend.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna watch it tomorrow. For local theaters. Yeah.
Go spend the $12. Go sit in the theater, watch it. I said it's not worth waiting all the way and make it a big thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I said it's not a terrible movie. I told him the same thing I'm gonna end up telling you guys by the end of this. I was like, just do it. So he comes over today. He's like, dude, I keep hearing reviews and hearing how bad this movie is. He's like, can we just watch it?
Yeah, just.
And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And here we go.
And my take on that was the last 15 minutes had ticked me off so badly.
It almost ruined the
that
rest
I
of the movie.
wanted to watch it again because I didn't want to come into this review so pissed off about the ending that I shit on the rest of the movie. Because honestly, I don't feel like the rest of the movie necessarily deserves that kind of ire from me.
Right.
Because it was decent up until then. So I wanted to rewatch it. So yeah, it was like,
Right.
So he can be the one that's all.
Let's go shit on the movie.
That's all shitty about it. Yeah.
Because I feel like that bitch that fell downstairs just a big old wound through the leg.
Hey, those stairs are dangerous.
I bet.
Our stairs are lethal. Those
I
stairs
had fallen
were
down
nothing.
those steps.
Yeah, fell down.
Well, you kind of slid. Luckily, you didn't
I slid and crashed through the fucking gate.
Oh shit!
I fucking Kool-Aid man that shit.
Right.
Really?
But at least you stayed upright.
Right.
I'll just tumble down like a tumbleweed, like a big ass tumbleweed.
No, our staircase is not wide enough.
Oh god!
Please don't.
Yeah, please don't.
All right, here we go. Power
Go
Ranger.
straight through the wall because that's how drywall works.
This ain't even drywall.
This
It's
is
plaster.
It'll just
We'll
crack.
make us a
I'll
new
be like,
doorway.
I'll be like a demolition ball. Like, did I get 10 out
He
of 10?
came in like a
Oh,
wrecking
yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we keep.
We're
gonna digress so much. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the first skull, acting. I actually think the acting is outstanding. The people they have in the places to do the things that they do all did a very, very good job. Obviously, Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie is Laurie.
Yeah.
She's Laurie.
She's Laurie. Yeah, she.
Well, and Jamie Lee Curtis is just a fabulous actress anyway.
Right.
Okay.
So here's gonna be my problem. I'm not good with remembering actors' names and shit.
At all.
So it's
Me
time to
either.
pull up the IMDb so I don't make myself sound like an idiot.
Well, I mean,
We Google that shit. We Google
at least
everything.
not for this.
We Google everything.
Oh, I couldn't remember their names.
No.
Yeah.
I told you I was that bitch that fell on the stairs. Like, the daughter? Yup.
I'm terrible. See, I would have remembered her. She goes by Allison.
Right. Okay.
So I would have remembered at least the
All right,
the
there we go.
daughter's name.
right. Okay, so Karen is an actual Karen.
Right.
Which, again,
So-
it's yeah.
Judy Greer is Karen. I mean, Judy Greer is a fantastic actress.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah. No, it's. I was gonna
Period.
say, that's not the acting though. That goes under the writing
Right.
part of it.
But acting wise, everybody did well. Even the Shape did well.
I wasn't sold on Anthony Hall as Tommy.
Okay.
And that's hard for me to say because he himself is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
I had some moments where I felt that it was discordant.
What are you talking about?
Anthony Michael Hall, Tommy Doyle.
As Tommy Doyle.
Because before we came on, you said you didn't like the speech that he was doing.
Well, I mean, but that's writing. That has nothing to do with his acting.
Right.
And again, like I said, he's a fantastic actor. I just wasn't entirely sold the whole way through that he was Tommy.
Okay.
Right. So, watching through the series as we have, we've gotten a couple different versions of Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
We got shut-in Tommy in the middle of the series,
right,
where he's kind of avoiding the public
right.
and hiding and shit. Which I actually think it would have been cool to bring back
that idea.
His Tommy, and it would also kind of almost have that feel of a tie-in, like actually bring back what's his name, Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, because they were thinking about the thing. He was too busy.
And honestly, looking back now, I don't know why we didn't bring the little girl back that was Jamie,
right,
and make that Laurie's daughter in this. I mean, it could still be a different timeline.
Right. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I again absolutely think Judy Greer does fantastic in this movie.
Right. Jamie. I mean, if that's what they were trying to go with, but I don't know, or something about that nature.
So I don't know why they didn't go that route.
But again, that's all writing stuff that.
Right. So my problem with Anthony Michael Hall.
Okay.
There are times I don't believe as tough as he tries to play.
I think that's part of it.
You have your moments where, and some of it's just really cheesy.
That's
like when he grabs the bat and he's like walking around, slamming the bat on his hand.
Putting the bat,
like, do you even know how to use that?
Right. And how you just gonna jack the bartender's bat? It's not even your bat.
You're gonna look all Harley Quinn for a minute there.
Right,
You're like, daddy's little monster get tattoos.
Right.
I don't know.
I was ready to go have like the green hair and shit.
I definitely felt like there were some moments that I was just pulled out of his character.
And it's not even just him. And this is a part of the writing. The whole mob mentality that they build up throughout this entire movie.
Right.
Yet none of them act like a mob should. Except for like one part.
Right.
But I'm saying even at the beginning when they're heading towards the car.
Right.
Yeah, they just let them go out there by themselves.
When it's not even Michael, it's the other escaped inmate that jumps in the car.
Yeah.
Right.
But he hesitantly walks towards the car. You're a mob.
Right, you all should
rush that motherfucker.
Yeah, they're like, I'm going. Like,
yeah, once you have reached that mentality, everyone moves as a unit. Pretty much. I mean, like, it's a very messy unit. However,
as you see later.
Yeah. Well, and that's where they got the mob movement correctly. Was everybody out for themselves, but as a unit, so they were like walking over people, pushing other people out of the way, like that. That's exactly how it should have gone.
Like 28 days later.
And that was probably better moving this.
Fucking sheeple.
So.
Anyway, the acting was actually quite good.
As the most part, and even then, I mean, Anthony didn't do terrible.
Yeah, no, he didn't do terrible.
He did fine.
Right.
I am actually going to give the full skull to the acting.
Right.
I think the acting was fine. I didn't have really many questionable parts. Like, it was really funny. I loved this, by the way. Did you notice how cheesy people were acting when they did the 78 flashback?
Oh, yeah.
And the portrayal of like the cheesiness to kind of fit with the old school horror
Has he killed
movies.
again?
Right.
Well,
to be fair, they took that from the movie.
No, I know.
From an outtake from the original movie.
No, I know. Yeah. But yeah, that was the over-dramatized way of acting at that.
Right.
Well, for that type of genre, yeah.
I was like, is that Loomis? How the hell did he kill this man's face like that?
Like,
no, it was an...
Has he killed again? Motherfucker, move so we can finish it.
Right.
That's like, I was like, he absolutely, apparently does not know how guns work. First of all, he shot him 6 times and he didn't die. Second of all, he's standing right behind Michael and there's like, 10 cops ready to open fire.
Right,
yeah, it's
unload
like,
all kind of bullets on.
Ready
Michael
to
might
fucking
get
Jason
back
goes to hell him.
Yeah, Michael might get back up, but he's not going to block the bullets.
Right.
All of them. I mean, did you see the other cops shoot? come on now.
Nope.
Like,
Right.
They're stormtroopers just in LA.
Right.
That's what I said. I said this is some stormtrooper shit.
Just
What the hell?
Just in HPD uniforms.
Right. You are NPC.
So-
the fuck?
yeah, the acting.
Wow.
The acting, I'll give the full skull. I would be. I'm hesitant to give the entire skull, but I would be shaving off
An ear.
like hair's widths if I took off what I feel it needs to have deducted.
Right.
So, you know, that's a 9.5 from me.
Right.
Right.
I never had a problem with the acting.
I have almost the same. So going from the acting, the second skull that I'm going to go into is going to be Gore.
Okay. Hey,
I
Gore
think
was there, bro.
they did a fine job with the gore. Here's the thing: it's not the level of gore I like. That will always be Rob Zombie's first Halloween movie. Like when I want to see people with 42 fucking stab wounds crawling around, barely at the edge of life. Like that's what I like in my gore.
I mean, I know it was 42, but that's what happened with the boyfriend.
And to see all of them. Look, it was an abstract painting, okay? It's called a butcher's block for a reason. He was just trying out the steak knife.
Oh, God.
But
making sure
it worked.
that the chef's block was really top of the line quality. You can't have subpar
You gotta look
cutlery.
at it like, this is great. This is going
and,
here.
but the one thing I do like, the gore is realistic too.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
over
right.
the top.
That's right.
I've never been a fan of like crazy blood spurts that don't make
Yeah,
sense.
Like Kill
I
Bill?
don't mean
Like Kill Bill.
like that would be exactly.
That's
why.
actually the one reason I actually hate that movie
You
and
don't
will
like
not
Kill
watch
Bill?
it.
And see, I don't dislike the movie,
Yeah.
but I don't like that fake type of. I like the storyline enough that I'm like, eh.
You'll withstand the my
But,
arm, I'm spewing all over the place of blood.
But I thought the gore was fine. Like you'd see one of the things I thought was really cool, and I noticed this, was so the cop at the very beginning that the kid runs to on the other
Frank?
side of the fence, right? And he's laying there with the I don't remember how he got the wound in 2018 the movie.
The dude stabbed him right in
Yeah.
the
Did he stab him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he stabbed him. Left never dead.
You could see the blood coming out and going back in with breathing, which is
Right.
realistic.
Suction.
Right.
And it wasn't like all of it going back in, so it's like some spurts, some of it falls back
Right.
in. Some,
Yeah, he's breathing.
so you're seeing that he's breathing and it's having that
Bitch, I'm
effect on
alive.
it.
Right. No, they did very well with that kind of.
My favorite kill in the entire movie is what is the character? Allison. Is it Allison? Yeah. Allison's boyfriend.
Oh,
Cam.
Yeah.
When he's like ramming his head into the pieces of
The broken.
the broken banister.
railing.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's just going ham, and he walks all the way around and
And he
starts
finished
walking
him
down
off.
the steps, and she's like, "Leave him alone and come get me." And
That's a fatality.
he
Michael
goes-
Myers,
He
bro.
goes, okay.
he
but
kind of
hold on.
cocks his head a little bit, looks over, grabs him, and fucking twists it upside down. I was like, "That's a kill."
I mean, honestly,
That's
both
what
of
we
us were
need.
like, at this point, that's kind of a mercy kill.
Right.
Like,
Just put
he'd
me out of my
already
misery.
rammed him through, like, broken railing pieces in his throat. He had already.
Stabbed him like.
I mean,
5 or 6
yeah,
times.
that dude was.
He was already dead.
Cam was
Cam
not
was
gonna.
not Cam.
That is incompatible with life, right there.
He unsubscribed from life. That's
Well-
right there.
no, it's just incompatible. He didn't
Oh, it's
unsubscribe.
not yet.
Yeah. No, he did not choose to you choose to unsubscribe. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
He had his internet unplugged.
Yeah, right.
So
I mean, like,
What?
he was just trying to ram him back into life, you know.
You're coming back to life.
there's
Oh,
some
God.
creativeness I liked with the kills too.
Right.
I like the kick.
Well, no. So, I that's one of the kills I actually both like and dislike for reasons. But the fluorescent bulb kill, when he reaches in and he
pulls
grabs
that
the
shit.
fluorescent bulb out and he smashes it and then sticks it in her throat
It's a plug-in.
right before she turns her boyfriend or husband into a human pincushion.
Right. Like I said, he's got to test the equipment.
He's learning how to spell on his back.
Right.
Well, his chest.
Because he went,
You know.
that's going in your back.
I mean, acupuncture.
Yeah, you just
know?
said acupuncture.
I feel like he had a moment of ooh, piece of candy.
Right.
Ooh,
Ooh, piece of candy.
like he
James
stabs
loves that shit.
He'd stab and then
And
turn
it turns
around.
out- there's another
knife.
one. It's a shiny.
Knife.
Right.
And the poor woman, she's just like watching this, like, is he gonna kill me? No, we're gonna let you live. I had too much.
She
fun
had
with
a light bulb shoved in her neck. She was dying.
dying. She's like,
she's not gonna live.
I thought she was gonna finish him off. I thought she was gonna finish her off.
He was just trying to light up her life.
I know. You know.
You're the
He just didn't know that's not where you stick it. Anyway.
It's the other end.
Yeah, that'll take you to the hospital too. Anyway, there was some creativity. There were also some throwbacks, which
The
were
eyeball,
kind of nice.
the eye
Yeah,
gouge.
that's a Michael Myers one with the eyeball.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the head squeeze.
I definitely liked the firefighter that sticks his hand down. And it's like,
and
give
Michael
me your
reaches
hand.
up and grabs him. You don't actually see what happens, but you know he got pulled down.
Right.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, don't let go, Rose. Don't let go.
Okay, so the ninja kick with the door.
Hey, I thought that was the coldest death ever.
Into the hand,
Ew.
into the gunshot to the face. Okay, so I like the kill because it's funny.
Right.
Because like she's like pointing the
Because she's trying
gun,
to be badass, like, there's joy out this bitch.
and but I also I feel like they meant to make it seem like it was just happenstance that it happened like
It
that.
was supposed
Like
to be
he kicks the door and it happens. But I had like major karate movie vibes to it, where like they do that shit on purpose.
Yeah, but see, I mean, I feel like Michael rams people into enough doors and stuff that part is actually believable as a Michael kill, to use the door to try and take her out.
Right.
And I do think that the writers tried to pull that off as an incidental, you know, the gun flipped around. One of the most creative things that they did was the her husband, the nurse, that has no balls the whole time,
right,
until all of a sudden he decides to try and choke out Michael with his stethoscope.
And Michael stops moving and goes,
it's almost like you pet him on his head.
really?
right.
Yeah, it's almost like he was like, okay, that was a nice try, but this is how you do it.
Right through the eyeball.
And then just right through his eyeball.
Ooh,
right
that bro, how that looked. Oh,
yeah,
man.
it's like you might want to get that looked at.
Right. Right. Go through it.
And 100% love the callback to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah, with the mask.
Yes.
Where he put one of each of the Season of the Witch masks on all 3 people that were killed there.
That was fabulous.
Because unlike everybody else that are fans
I
of
actually
horror,
like it.
Halloween 3 is actually my second favorite Halloween movie. And it has nothing to do with Michael. I love the story.
Right.
I love the people that are acting in it.
Fantastic as a standalone horror movie.
And I understand people being disappointed that it's not a Michael movie, so they feel like it shouldn't be in it.
No.
Right.
But at the same time, like that's what Carpenter wanted to do. He wanted to take the Halloween series and make it different stories every year.
Right. He didn't want to make it
a
like
Halloween
and then,
story.
Right,
per Halloween.
And then fans hijacked the series. So, and then we
They
got
really did,
shitty
didn't
installment after shitty installment. Thanks, fans.
Which then kept getting retracted, and then I mean, like
remade,
maybe we should have
redone.
just let him go with his original.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, so having all 3 of them wearing the season, and
That was great.
immediately in my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
12 more days till Halloween, Halloween, 12 more
was
days till
unfortunate.
Halloween,
Yeah.
Silver Shamrock.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I'm sorry. It's like the catchiest fake fucking jingle ever.
It's terrible.
And like with that kick though,
He's
only
not
I
wrong,
missed,
but it's terrible.
only I missed. I was like saying, if only he just like stared at her as soon as he got out. And just did like a cock his head back, and then he went after her.
We were actually watching. So there's this documentary on Shudder about 80s horror.
No.
And there's 2 of them. They're both like 5 hours long.
Damn.
Oh, they went in depth.
And
Jesus.
the first one that came out, I think it was like 2018, 2019, actually has a part where they're talking about Season of the Witch, and it has the guy that plays the main dude in Season of the Witch.
Right.
And he's like, so at the end, when you're watching the movie and you hear me screaming into the phone, and I'm like, turn it off. He's like, that was not
That
me
was
acting.
real.
I was over the fucking song.
Right.
Okay, so he was just completely done with it.
I was done with that song the first time I heard it.
I wasn't.
I get it.
I want the
get
Silver
it
Shamrock
because
coin
because
tattooed.
it's catchy. It's a jingle.
Right.
It would attract children, but honestly, that made that whole movie that much more horrific to me. Stop.
Look, she's like, yo, stop that
You
shit.
sound like an Oompa Loompa.
Oompa
The song
Loompa.
does indeed
I know.
sound like an Oompa Loompa.
Yes.
All right.
Like, that's the whole point.
But yeah, there were some other fun kills in it too. Okay, so we'll get into that with the story.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, so Oh, we're not at story
We're still
yet.
in Gore.
Yeah.
So I still give a full skull to the Gore. Gore was fine.
Right.
Yeah, I get full skull to it.
I honestly, I heard some reviews talk about like there were too many kills, or some of them weren't very Michael.
I feel like they were trying to catch up with Jason, because Jason was leading last I seen in kills. I think Michael might have taken his place. But I honestly
feel like if you're
work was talking about.
Okay, so in this, Michael is going from point A to point B.
Right.
There's really no sidetracking from him from that transit. So pretty much any kills he gets in there happen. He doesn't go out necessarily seeking.
Oh, the Johns. The Johns was a couple.
Yeah, I think, but that's also I think on the street. The Johns was his house.
Right. I was going back to the Gore.
Oh. But I was just gonna say that I don't feel like this had like gratuitous amounts of kills or anything that was really outside of the realm of what Michael does. I mean, the ninja kick, sure, but I think again that was supposed to be an incidental thing. So I'll give the full skull to the Gore.
What'd you think of the Gore?
It was good. The score was good. Like ninja kick. Only I wish he just got out and stared at her, and then it's like, oh, there's a lady still walking. I'm running.
She ran up and hit him with a bag of bricks, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That was funny as shit, bro. She was like,
I mean, at least she tried.
And she did try. She did try to smoke him. She did.
I'll give her that.
Okay, so story is the third skull that we're going to talk about. And this is where
things get a little
little bit horrific.
Things get rough. Okay. Sorry. So here's the thing. We start off with a lot of like the past being shown, stuff from Halloween '78,
right?
Which are like add in, like it's basically a whole new side story they created for the movie that never actually happened in the original movie.
Right, because I was like, that never happened. I really had a brain fog there.
It was supposed to fit in with the movie to kind of give some continuity for characters down the line.
Sure.
Which is cool.
Right. That's fine, I guess.
They go through all that. We then meet the same characters that were in the story before as older people.
Yeah,
we've got the
survivors.
We've got the nurse from the car, which by the way, it was fun watching Michael redo the car scene.
Right, so I'm gonna finish you off this time, bitch.
With the same nurse.
With the same nurse.
We got a kid that they created specifically for this movie that was not in the original movie, that is now all of a sudden older and with the group because they needed an extra body. We have the little girl that was with Tommy Doyle,
right?
Because her babysitter got killed,
right? Which was the sheriff's daughter.
The sheriff's daughter.
It was Annie. Yeah.
Right.
So they're all there. The doctor and nurse couple were new characters. They weren't actually returning or anything.
No.
They're the ones that are new to the story. Right.
Well, they were, yeah.
Right. So they're all in a bar, and then all of a sudden they hear about people dying.
Right.
So they run off, and then we've got Laurie going to the hospital.
Right.
Laurie's in the hospital, and she spends
with her daughter and granddaughter.
And she spends most of this movie, or at least a good first half of it, thinking Michael's dead.
Right.
Well,
until Tommy Doyle fucks that one up.
Right.
I'm gonna save you this time.
Right.
That was another bad acting moment.
You saved me. I'm gonna save you.
That was one of those. Yeah. That was one of those. Oh, that's not good.
Right. So Michael goes. He's basically, and they even mentioned the stories, and he's going in a straight line, basically going straight home.
Right.
But he's stopping at like every house he comes across to slaughter a few people.
Well, yeah, you want to just kill a few people.
Well, no, because technically, so he has the firefighters at the beginning because he's leaving. They come to deal with Laurie's house.
Oh, that's one of the parts of the story that pissed me off. Okay, so the firefighter scene. That was what I wanted. Thank you.
Oh, they all stop.
Please tell me why every time we get into a group fight,
it's one at a time.
It's always one at a time.
That's some RPG
Nobody would have
shit.
done that. I'm sorry. They all heard that there was someone else in the house, that they have lost contact with two firefighters.
Right. He's only
at that point.
Maybe the first one I get, because you don't really know who it is.
Right.
Right.
However,
The moment he kills that first guy, though, all of them should have swarmed
ganged
him.
up on him, and
Yeah.
that wasn't a real firefighter's hose, because
That would have blasted fucking Mike.
Exactly.
Back
At
into
least
the
back a
house.
few steps.
Well,
you go back in the
but
house
you
room.
could tell even from the spray of the water how it arced down, whereas they go straight out, and most of the time it takes 2 operators. Like, so if you're going to do a firefighter scene,
Haddonfield can only afford garden hoses, baby.
they have the old school
crank ones.
I just feel like if you're gonna put any type of well-known job into a movie, you need to at least do it right.
And think of how menacing they could have done this, right? Mm-hmm. So if they're using an actual, honest, true-to-God fire hose.
Right.
They could have blasted Michael, and maybe he flies back 4 or 5 feet and kind of lands on his back.
Right.
Maybe he sits up and stands
like,
back up,
what the
and everyone's
fuck?
like, what the fuck's going on? And then when they go to spray him, he starts walking through it, showing the power he's got behind him.
Right.
But instead they're like, here's this garden hose. Oh, it's not stopping you.
Right.
Well, no shit.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't stop.
He got a super something gun.
And then the rest of them all have their fire picks and their axes.
Their saws.
And there was the saw,
hand saw.
and it's just like...
And one at a time.
And this guy...
We will bitch about this again later.
At the very minimum, this is a guy that's 6.5 feet tall.
Yep.
And just came out of a destructively burning house. Like, you gotta take him seriously.
Right.
Right. You like say you lost 2 of your people, and he's the one with that submerged out of the fire. Like, come on now.
I feel like that one was done very poorly, and it was... I don't know. I mean, I thought that moving on to the next house down the street was hilarious, because that was actually some of my favorite.
So then, and it's something else I feel like they should have done. So they go with that whole idea of like spraying him down, and then he gets up and actually walks through the water that's spraying ridiculously hard.
Right.
All of a sudden, you now have an excuse for 2 or 3 people to be like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Yeah, you got some that ditch, you get some that try and gang up on him, and you get the one that's standing there like a deer in the headlights. Because those are 3 very common responses.
Plus, do you know how awesome it would be to see Michael do some crazy shit, like, say the guy lets go of the hose, right, and the water goes off. And could you see, like, Michael maybe putting the hose into the dude's mouth and then letting it rip and watching his head fucking fly off or some shit?
Funny as shit.
Like, I'm just saying, there's some things they could have done that would have been fantastic.
There really are.
Would have been way better than what happened.
Although you're not going to see many first responders run off, especially not firefighters. They're way more adrenaline junks than anybody else.
Like they live for
I
this
can think
shit.
of a handful of things I think would make them run. A guy walking through the water you're spraying that's going 150 miles per hour might be one of them.
he would have started the fire truck like, BB, you got 5 seconds to get in this car,
I think it would
bro.
definitely give them pause. Definitely. I'm not saying adrenaline junkies are stupid. I'm just saying, like, they're first... You're not an adrenaline junkie either.
That's why I'm not stupid.
Yeah, I'm not stupid either. Yeah, I'm not going in there.
You said you're not saying that adrenaline junkies are stupid. I said
no,
I am.
No, they're not. That's how we have a lot of first responders.
That's also how we have dumbasses that climb fucking mountains without fucking
There's 2 different types. There's the stupid type, and but it would give them pause and definitely be like a serious what the fuck moment. But then they would probably gang up on him like they would anybody that they thought was, on meth for 5 days straight.
Right.
Well,
bath salts.
I'm driving away from you guys.
I mean, look, bath salts, meth. Cops take them down like as a group. Mm-hmm. Why would they not take somebody who has just killed at least one of the firefighters in front of them,
Yeah.
As a group? Why would they be like, okay, your turn. Your turn. No, it's cool. It's fine. You go first.
Right.
I now want a parody of this movie where you have people playing fucking paper, rock, scissors to see who's going to attack next.
Man, I want to see memes and parody of
and he just stands there
scene.
and he just waits and then.
Right. This is only my first day, bro. I'm a temp. I don't want to die.
Let's stab.
Flip a can up, kick it, watch it bounce off of 3 things, hit somebody with a gun, they point it to their buddy, and it fucking blasts them in the face.
Like, oh shit.
Like y'all want a ninja movie.
Right. All right. So, moving along, there are definitely, obviously, some writing errors, even in just the fight scenes.
Yeah.
There's some horrible fucking plot issues. So this mob mentality thing they run with, which is about the middle of the movie, right?
Right.
I mean, it's a gear up the entire movie, though.
It like starts at the bar, and Tommy Doyle goes out to this car that somebody says they think they have Michael in.
Right.
If you're ready to whoop somebody's ass, you're not going to ease yourself to the car.
Oh no, we run into that bitch.
You and your group are going to run to the car, pull that motherfucker out. But instead, he's like...
No, he's definitely Harley Quinning it.
He's like, hey, Michael, wakey,
plus,
what the fuck?
Here's my other thing. Once the car lights turn on, you're standing right in front of the car...
Tom should have died.
If that's not Michael, if it is Michael, doesn't really matter. If you are in the direct trajectory of the car,
hope you're a superhero.
What are you doing?
Right.
Even a mob, if they have the area to move out of the way, is going to like at least circle around and towards the windows.
Right.
Like nobody wants to get run over.
Right, because he was going fast. I'm like, bro, and I'm like, well, Tom's about to die.
Tommy he was almost playing chicken with the car, and it's like that's not a normal response.
Right.
Also, so moving forward a little bit too, though. I just wanted to say this as a public service announcement. If you are parenting in a way that causes your kids to laugh at creepy fucking people that are popping in and out from behind trees, you have failed at your job as a parent.
What the fuck was that scene, bro? That was creepy as shit. Wait,
if you have children like those children that are going around
in somebody's house
and creeping into other people's homes to steal their candy,
you've also failed.
Yeah, like that's...
I feel like a lot of this movie was just kids failing and showing how bad the parents of Haddonfield are.
Right.
You've got...
Why do we care about Haddonfield again? I kind of feel like I don't.
Let Michael have it.
I kind of like Laurie. I mean, like...
Those kids are just sitting there on their fucking swing. Yeah, some dude keeps playing hide and seek with us. He's hide and seek with us.
Bro, y'all about to die.
He's got this white mask on. He's popping in and out from behind trees.
Guess what? You just found your friend's head.
Oh, you think you're gonna scare us? You're not scaring us. Look, dude, you're like
3.
You guys are like 7, 8, 9, maybe 10.
Trying to do razor
y'all
blade
stupid as
y'all
a
are dumb.
3-year-old. Yeah, they're like, I'm not 3. I don't want to play peekaboo. Yeah, he's not playing peekaboo.
My friend went off somewhere. He went missing. He'll be back though. We waiting for him. He's just in the restroom
I don't know.
somewhere.
We just put razor blades in his bag. You know, it was a gimmick. But on the other hand,
oh my God, bro, these little bastards. I'm like, y'all.
Although
I kill all 3 of them.
I have to say that John's running out and believing that load of horse shit. Like, I'm sorry, a full-on razor blade in candy. You're not going to be choking on it. Like,
no,
you will have bitten into the candy. Like, it would be very hard to swallow.
Right.
You're going to cut. I don't know. It was just, I was like, and...
I mean, had me believe for a little bit. I said, maybe he's hurt. Like, maybe he's hurt. Then I saw the door shut. I said, oh, Michael's in your house. I'm not going to this bitch.
Anyway.
But, yeah. Kids, we learned kids in Haddonfield suck.
Yeah,
right.
Just awful. Damn.
I mean, it starts with the trio. You don't mess with you know, those kids.
Oh.
And then we get another trio.
Right.
Of just the same punk ass shit behavior.
Kids.
So it's obvious that in 40 years, things haven't changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, he got one of them. That's why he
but
he got
they
one of them.
they carry this mob
I think
mentality.
he got all 3 of them in the first one.
Right.
And the only time I feel like there are 2 times I feel like the mob mentality works the way a mob mentality would. The first one is what ends up leading to the other crazy patient committing suicide.
Right.
Right.
And that's because they're chasing him through the hospital thinking he is Michael.
It's a bit of hysteria, a bit of chaos, and a lot of sheeple.
Well, he knew he wasn't going to leave that place alive. Like, if they were going to get him regardless, so he said, fuck it.
Yeah, but they did actually have how mob mentality works.
Right.
Done correctly
Yeah.
And then the confrontation with Michael 5 minutes before the movie went to shit.
Right. Like, as it was going to shit. Because that's where Lauries Monologue was.
And that's when Ralph was about to get up. Like, I was like, whoa.
You were invested Because you were still listening. You were invested. Don't even lie.
No, but you saw my face was like...
No, you're sitting there like, what's going on? What's happening?
My face was like happy. Because I was happy for this movie. And then that happened. I was like...
I honestly don't see how everybody is just so goddamn dumb.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. You just took an entire, like, pitchfork through his back. But that's not to mention that you burned down your mom's house. You shot him in the face. He has now been stabbed.
He's been shot about 17 times.
What makes you think he's going to stay down this time?
Right.
It's a done deal. I just think that's dumb.
But yeah, so I love the end fight scene.
Oh yeah.
The first one.
Well, yeah,
where they actually gang up on him. It's not they're coming one at a time. No, they're jumping in, swinging, knocking him around.
The original part of that.
But I love Michael's attitude here, though. I just wanted to point this out before I forget.
Put the mask
Michael looks around and he's like, "We're doing this?
All right.
He reaches down and picks up his mask.
Get my uniform ready.
Puts it on. He's like, "Let's go."
All right.
Give me a minute.
What's it first? He needled that shit.
That original part before Karen leaves, was good, and the people that had long distance or long range weapons used them appropriately from a distance. The people that were shooting at him actually got him. Yeah. You know, they were all ganging up on him, but also not crossing paths. Like, they weren't hitting their bats together or, you know, like
shooting their own team.
Right.
I shot you. I'm so sorry.
And Karen definitely did look badass, stepping in and
stabbing him.
So, you know, you get that. And then it gets
muddled from there.
It goes to shit. Obviously, they needed a Karen in their lives.
Right.
So, and then this is where the story falls apart for him.
And then Tommy's like,
puckered up, like, what?
Go be with your kid. We got it from here. And no.
So she goes and she bees with her kid.
She bees?
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
No, we'll keep that.
She bees with her kid. I was just taking exactly what you said and adding an S.
No, she bees. I like that.
She bees with her kid.
That's what's up.
So she does go to be with her kid.
Oh, she kept it.
And no, I legit did that on purpose.
Okay.
I know you did. No, I didn't know you did it on purpose. I know. I would have kept it though.
So she goes to be with her kid.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she looks around and is like, she looks up, she sees the window.
I wonder what he was looking at.
And so she starts to walk upstairs, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
and
I don't understand.
Let me
Your
point
kid
out,
is
no
crippled.
Parent would leave their child.
In
the state that her child. No, like just in general.
No, in general.
Like if your kid fell down.
You would be
stairs,
hard pressed to keep her off the ambulance if there's an ambulance ride involved. Like, I want on this ambulance.
And this is not even for a kid that got fucked up by somebody else, but like they fell out of a tree and they broke their leg to that extreme.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna. That mom is going to be attached, or dad. Like, yeah. So
she's like, I'm gonna go upstairs.
So just trance like walking up the stairs because you're wondering.
What was he staring at?
And then while this is going on, Laurie Strode is giving her monologue.
And Cass said, "Watch this," and then that's when my face went.
I told him he might have a problem with oral diarrhea. So he needed to shut up and actually listen to what Laurie was saying.
Right. And I'll listen. And
So Laurie is giving her monologue, but while this is happening, Michael gets back up.
Right.
In the midst, like.
And now the mob wants to attack one at a time.
Well, it was just sloppy. Okay, so no, there's two things that happen. They let off of him, even though Tommy's like, "We've got this," like. Even though Tommy knows that this dude has come back multiple times. Tommy is not supposed to be one of those stupid people that does not realize he doesn't stay down.
And yet he sits back and watches all his fucking friends die. Well, and then finally decides, fuck it, if I'm going, I'm going out strong.
Even it. Right. They all start looking around. Like, they take their eyes off of Michael. They all start kind of meandering. And that's when things go bad because that's when Michael starts slashing out and hitting them one by one. So yeah, they get sloppy and stupid, and then it just devolves. All the while, Laurie's talking about how now he's not just got the devil's eyes and is sort of like evil personified, but still in a superhuman person, but like he's still.
She's explaining that he has the power he has because of fear.
Right, which makes him Freddy Krueger.
And congratulations, whoever wrote this, you watched Freddy versus Jason, and then said, "Hey, let's do that to Michael.
Freddy versus Jason.
Let's turn Michael into Freddy."
Yeah,
really,
which pisses us off because look, it's not the entity thing. It's the fear thing.
It is for him.
Right, it's for him.
Yeah, he's stuck on that. He's stuck on.
I
thought Michael was a person.
Now it's like we're going Curse of Michael Myers. Now that's what we're going with now.
No, Michael's been supernatural from the very beginning.
Michael has walked away from way too much shit to be just straight up.
No one's walking away from 6 gunshots. I mean, 50 Cent got shot 9 times. He lived, but he was carried to a hospital.
Ralph, I know this is bursting your childlike bubble of
hell yeah, because I was pissed off right there. I was like, well, I'm disappointed.
What real life is supposed to be like. But if you get shot 6 times, sweetie,
you're not getting up on your own, not that quickly.
Yeah.
Right, he should have died there in 1978.
And he didn't, so that should have told you that
he's supernatural.
Yeah.
Well, now it's going full swing. Now it seems like I said, it's going to be like Curse of Michael Myers, where it's like he's like
having
this,
issues.
Issues.
For us, it was specifically that they are blending into Freddy Krueger's
whole thing.
I'm all down with that. For like third one, I am now invested now more than ever that he is now this thing now. Like
he's been this thing this whole time.
This is what we've been trying to tell you.
He's not Freddy.
Michael.
Oh my God.
Is supposed to be the embodiment of evil. He is the boogeyman.
That's why they keep calling him the boogeyman.
Jesus.
And have for fucking
But
eons.
now he's a fear-driven boogeyman?
Yep.
No, he's a fear-fed.
A fear-fed.
Okay,
boogeyman.
Fear-fed, boogeyman.
And that is specifically Freddy. That's why they erase Krueger from the history, so that nobody says his name, because if people say his name and they start getting that little bit of fear, then they get nightmares, and then he is called back from his dimension, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So, yeah, so this whole, like, Michael's transcendent, he sucks in the fear that he generates, so it's a whole, I guess, cycle that he creates and then feeds off of, and then as long as he's feeding off of the fear, he can't die. And it's like, okay, like, all the slashers in that group,
right,
let's say, were supernatural. All of them had their own sort of thing. But
this we talked about earlier.
But merging them completely like this is
what kind of ruins it for me.
Yeah.
And then, over and above all, plot-wise, one of the things I also hate about this movie definitely feels like the middle child of.
Yep.
Yeah, you said a filler. Yeah, and this is a filler.
It feels like an entirely filler movie because look, your lead protagonist spent the entire movie
in the hospital.
Benched. She was benched.
She's dead. Yeah.
Benched.
Give it to the B team.
No, she's not the B team.
Oh, no,
she's the A team.
I'm saying, but the
B team had her ass kicked, and so she's benched. And look, this is the shenanigans the B team gets up to. And A team is gonna have to come back, no matter how damaged goods they are at that point. And
understand this. Understand this. Judging off of what happened from 2018, I fully understand, especially with this being the same night into next day.
Oh, she should be fucked up,
same night.
Honestly.
She's fucked up.
She's fucked
I
up.
get her being benched, but then your other people got to step up. And I'm not saying step up the stairs into Michael Myers' spot to be slaughtered. I mean step up and actually do something.
Well, and okay, this was what drove me a little nuts, and I think Judy Greer did a fantastic job as the written Karen, right? But this is where the writing got me, because she's Laurie's kid. Laurie has brought her up and, quote unquote, ruined her childhood. That was the whole first premise. We don't talk about Haddonfield because, mom's crazy. None of it's real. but she brought her up with these survivalist instincts, drills, all of this like hardcore learning in terms of how to fight, how to escape, yada yada. And then this is how she goes out. Like, you're right. So her mom's benched. Laurie is benched. She's perfect. I mean, other than being cripplingly upset because her husband got killed, her mom's in the hospital, her daughter's disappeared. The daughter disappearing should have been the kick into ass overdrive
to go get
that she got, because that's a mom's fear. I told her to be in this room. What do you mean she's not in this room? That's when I would have gone over, picked up the knife that the granddaughter left for my mom, marched my happy ass out of there, demanded the car from Tommy, and gone in.
You know, it took me like 40 minutes to figure out where the fuck she got that pitchfork from.
Oh, it's
she got it outside. Right.
Yeah, it took it from thought though, because it was one of those moments where she just barges in. You don't see her grab the pitchfork.
No. Yeah,
you just see her barge in and stabbing.
It was on the porch.
And I was like, where did the pitch? I forgot that they were at the John's house. To be honest,
at John's house with the dude.
I was sitting there like, where did this come from?
Because it's the Johns plus the Myers plus you're like, well. But okay, but I think that's when instinct should have kicked in, both motherly instinct and then also all of the stuff that she was brought up on. It should have been, I can carry this until mom needs me type.
And can somebody please answer me why no one in Haddonfield knows how to double tap?
Right.
The moment he's
I really
down,
know how to do double tap.
So peep this. She takes him down with the pitchfork.
Right. This stops.
Why didn't you grab the shotgun that your daughter was carrying around, put it to the back of his fucking head, and pull the trigger?
Because she curb stomped him right after.
Or then
you hear the crunch.
But he's still
you go outside. You go outside, and you stab the man in the back. He falls. There were people with guns that were shooting from a distance.
I mean,
not one of you walked up while he was motionless, held it straight to the back of his fucking head, and then pulled the trigger.
Granted, we all know that the likelihood of that keeping him down is, well, now that he's Freddy, Zippo. On the other hand, at least Karen normally did 2 moves.
So then we're in a different kind of movie. Decapitate the motherfucker, bury his head in one place, don't let him know where it's at.
Burn the rest of the body.
Burn the rest of the body. He says, so they just decapitate the head?
Now that we're
because then he's just going to turn into Wolverine.
Now that we're merging all of them together,
he's a Marvel character.
Put some chains around his legs and fucking
sink him to the bottom of the fucking lake.
Yeah.
Time to travel to Crystal Lake.
I know. Then we can have another crossover. Like, he can piss off Jason on his...
This is the Monster Universe they're going to go with now.
They're like, dude, this is it.
They're like, fuck the Mummy. Fuck Wolfman. Fuck the creature from the Black Lagoon. Fuck all these people. We're going with a slasher verse.
All right. I mean, like, I would love the slasher verse, but it needs to be done
right
correctly, and that is not.
But yeah, so this definitely feels like a filler episode of like a TV show, honestly.
Now, okay, and this is the thing that I was saying before. Even fantastic movies that are filmed consecutively in one session, so all the actors are the same, the landscape is the same. I mean, granted, it takes them, a couple, 4 years of filming to get it, and then they release it as a trilogy. That middle story is always the middle child, because you gotta bring people into your story and into your world with a bang.
Look,
and some motion.
I am going to be 100% honest. The only other thing I can compare this to, in terms of that, is Lord of the Rings. I actually like the second movie.
I wasn't done talking.
Fellowship of the Ring was terrible.
She was still going.
Go ahead.
And then...
See, I'm listening.
And then the third one is where, you get the climax and the resolution and so on and so forth. I was going to say the only series that has done that well was The Lord of the Rings.
Right.
But,
And here's something I feel horror sequels like this actually fail at. Is when they do film movies that they know they're going to do another one, they always end it with an ending like this.
Cliffhanger, you mean?
Where it's kind of a cliffhanger ending. I feel like the best ones are the ones that are written to end a series, but then they decide to come back later and do it again. Right. Prime example, you look at the very first Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Right.
Right? Nancy beats Freddy.
Yeah.
But then they kind of give you this, it could happen, it could not happen, but you get this dream sequence where her mom gets pulled through the door.
This was like a little hazy.
She gets pulled through the window of the door.
And it's one of those things where it's like, was it a dream? Did she actually die?
Well, because then the stripes come up on the car and you're like, that doesn't seem...
Right.
Yeah.
But you could have ended the movie there, never did another sequel. People have been like, that was a great movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you look at Halloween 2018, and understand this, I only ever shit on it for the sole fact that I'm tired of the series starting from scratch.
Right.
Like, figure out what the fuck you guys want to do.
No, they're gonna keep going.
And do it. Because
2018 was well written.
Right.
Though.
It was a good movie. But the one thing I praise it for, it ends in a way that you could be like, the story's done.
Yeah, him in that fire.
I feel like they should have, first off, stop announcing you're doing a trilogy.
Yeah.
Then you could have ended this movie to make people think it was done, and about this time next year, be like, hey, guess what? There's one more.
Right. But wait, there's more.
And people would have lost their fucking minds. But instead, you have to give everybody all the information at once.
Well,
welcome to the Marvel effect, where you let people know Spider-Man's in a movie and then completely ruin that surprise.
Right. And it also extends the way that you write the stories, so that this middle one ends up being middle. It's you know, I mean, if you're making a sandwich, it's supposed to be the good shit, and it's never the good stuff in trilogies.
But I mean, you look at, taking back into example, Friday the 13th Part 1, mom gets her head cut off, end of story.
Yeah.
And then they decided to bring Jason on the second, which was actually business-wise very smart.
Right. I mean, there are several times that it actually... It works, and they stay down, and then they've got to like actually come up with a new concept.
Like I will tell you now, the retcon after cutting off his head in 3 or 4, and then them being like, "Oh no, it was a different guy." I actually thought that was a smart retcon and funny, unnecessary. They could have honestly just not made that movie, but
That's also true. Right.
I did. Shit? I was one of the few people. I was like, I actually like.
But at least
that
they
aspect
didn't
of it.
wipe the history. Which is what keeps happening for Michael.
Right. It's like the first 2 came out, and then 3 came out, and then like 4...
That was a return of it.
They come back, it's like 4, 5, and 6, but then like 7's supposed to actually take place after 2.
Right.
So they completely wipe out everything in between, and then it goes all the way up until obviously the remake. Remakes are remakes. I'm never going to harp on remakes for doing their own thing.
Right.
Regardless if you like Rob Zombie's remake or not, I don't care.
It's a remake.
It's a remake.
It's not actually
its own thing.
Rebooting the whole storyline. Yeah.
But then, so like they follow the storyline up until what now 2018. They're like, oh, so actually 2 never actually happened, and nothing after 2 ever actually happened. We're starting back over right after 1, and it's like fucking why? First off, it's not like you can bring Loomis back effectively.
Right.
Yeah, Loomis is gone.
And he's a very integral part of the fucking beginning story.
Yes, he is. Wow. Yeah, he is. Damn.
And then again, there's so many things they could have done. They should have let Jamie be Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, instead of doing this thing where like the writer says, yeah, we wanted to include her, but we didn't want to have too many Easter eggs. It's her daughter in the series.
Right.
You could have just used the same daughter. Now it could have just been you're doing an alternate timeline anyway. She doesn't have to be the psycho she turns into like she does with her uncle.
Right.
She could have just grown up to be a normal adult thinking her mom was fucking insane. Like she does now. And then we're here where we are.
Right.
And at least that way, if you want to, at some point, she could snap and maybe team up with Michael, and then we can get like a collab movie.
That's actually that would be
lit.
That would have been fun.
Look, I mean, if you're going to make a character that you want to extend for however long, you got to give yourself leeway for that kind of stuff to happen later on.
Like Michael can go after her because he just wants to kill that other sister because it's like the one that got away, and then
she's like, "Yo, you're really cool."
Jamie can join up because she's like, my mom's been a bitch to me my whole life, and now that I know you're real and I know she's not crazy, she still made my childhood hell. Let's double team, take care of this.
Right. And then after, they think Laurie has been taken care of at some point, they turn on each other again. And, it's a way to extend the series to get the money they want, honestly. But, the longevity of Michael that they want without having to completely rewrite every 3-4 movies. So that would be my biggest complaint with the Halloween franchise.
That's why the Halloween franchise is honestly number 3 for me.
Yeah.
It would probably be number 2
because
nobody's ever gonna take Freddy's place for me. They're just not.
Right.
Freddy's my favorite horror franchise all time. Always will be.
Okay.
Halloween was probably my second until they announced this whole until they announced 2018 was coming out and what it was about. And then I was like, well, Jason's number 2 because at least it's one storyline all the way fucking through.
I can't
even if it's dumb halfway through.
Right.
I can't be invested to the same level that I used to be.
Right.
Because I never know if they're going to get rid of that part of it that I was like,
enjoying.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Rob Zombie managed to do both. He intrigued me with the first one, and the second one ripped everything away from me with whatever dumb shit that was.
Yeah. The first one
was still
fabulous.
my favorite Halloween movie all time.
Right. It went into like the whole psyche of Michael Myers.
Yeah, but it was just also fantastically done.
Right.
And then you get the second one, and you're like, well.
White horses, mom.
The mom. You must do like wait. We're doing Jason shit now. Well, okay.
I did kind of like how she was going crazy, but then it was too much. It was like.
One day we're going to get skulls that we can hold and have set in front of us so you guys can see it, so you can see how many skulls. And like, we'll start off with 3, and if something fails, we'll like push it off the table or something, or stab it.
That's what we have a cat for.
Right.
We've got to get like
cat here, catch this.
skull knife holders so that we're like legitimately able to stab something, and that would be great.
That'd be fun.
I'll start looking.
So that's our review. I guess 2 out of 3 skulls. Yay. Like I said. And the story is the one that kills it, and it sucks that that's the one that it doesn't have.
Right.
Because that's really what fucks this movie over.
And because 2018 really did have a fabulous storyline,
right.
And it is, again, killed by the second one. Like, and I know everyone's hoping, oh, there's an ending, there's a trilogy, but, you if it's supposed to be one storyline and
right.
say, that the third one comes out, I'm still going to want to skip this one. And that doesn't give you a consecutive story. You know what I mean?
Honestly, though, you could probably still skip it because it's like you watch the first one. Everyone, let's be real, everyone they introduced in this movie died.
That's true.
Yeah.
Tommy Doyle came in. Hey, I'm Tommy Dead.
Dead.
Everybody that came back from the first movie, even the kid that was completely made up for this movie to be in the first movie that's now, I know, confusing.
Except for the little girl. She lived. She went to the hospital.
Yeah, she put her ass in the hospital. Lindsay.
Right. But they could just explain that. Everyone else is just dead. You don't need to even explain.
Maybe she died by the time she got to the hospital.
No, because she actually got there. Remember, he carried her inside.
I know, but she died on the
she died on the OP table.
Yeah.
So that ending like tripped out. Like, how do you know he killed them all? It sounded like it was all like this. Like maybe they're still sitting there. I mean, like
they'll probably do some of that too.
But yeah,
like,
so
Tom Doyle ain't dead.
And that's my other problem too. All right. So your A team's down.
Right.
Your B team is built up now with all these returning characters,
and they're gone.
And now either 90% of them are dead, the other 10% are hurt.
Yeah, well,
who's gonna fight?
The B team's built up. Oh, you realize that they were the D team.
Like, oh shit.
I don't know. So the cop had said, we called in reinforcements from X, Y, and Z. No confirmations. He didn't say no takers, just no confirmations. So my guess is we're going to get an influx of police from other districts
that are all going to attack one at a time.
Yep. Oh yeah.
They're going to be very polite about it too.
They're going to be like,
yeah.
Shit. All right.
They brought in the Mounties.
Right.
Shoots hilarious. Oh damn! I lost. Fuck. All right, Mike can kill me.
But yeah, so it's like, and then honestly, the only person that can really team up with Laurie at this point is the granddaughter, but she's Gimp.
Frank.
And emotionally fucked at this point because she's about to find out that now her dad and mom have died on the same fucking night.
If that is not a dream thing or whatever the fuck,
and she's gonna blame herself for her mom even going to the house in the first place. She's also lost her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend's father.
Everybody she cares about. Laurie's probably gonna die in the next one.
I hope so.
Laurie already said, "You gotta let me die. I don't think he can die unless I die. Like let me."
Lives.
But then at the same time, they also set up a secondary option because the cop that's in the room with her.
That's what I was gonna say.
Was saying he's the one that's saying he has to be the one to kill him because he's still blaming himself.
Somebody got
for his partner dying, which it was your fault, by the way. You shot him.
And
Cool.
he's also the one that pointed out that now the obsession is no longer Michael's, it was the doctor's. Like, but then she went into the whole monologue.
Oh, that was my other complaint that we didn't bring up. You have trained me for 9, 10, 11 movies that Michael is after Laurie.
Right.
That's what this whole thing is about. He's after Laurie.
Right.
For one reason or another.
For one reason or another. And then this one, now all of a sudden you're like, okay, so he's not actually after Laurie. He's just after going home.
Right.
He's supposed to go home. Like I say, he barged in the house. Y'all stole his shit. Y'all didn't call or text. Fuck, man.
Which can't be entirely accurate.
No.
Because, yes, he was, in 2018, transported to Laurie's. However, that's not what caused his entire... I don't know. I don't know. What caused her to be caught when she was a babysitter. He wasn't just, like, on his way home. He wasn't strolling on his way home.
Well, he might have said he was with all the killing he was doing. He's like,
I'm now picturing...
He was skipping rocks.
I'm now picturing that gif of him.
Right, yeah, I know. That's exactly... yeah, so, I mean, I felt like there were some moments, plus they went in too many different ways, which I kind of get it, because they're all still trying to brainstorm, like, what is Michael exactly? How do we take him down? But they gave too many...
You just shave about 1.5 feet off the top.
They gave too many different theories on who has to kill him and why. And then... after, Laurie has her emotional, you let him take my head while I'm taking his, I have to be the one that kills him, I created this darkness, blah, blah, blah. And Frank has done his share of the thing. And then she has her monologue about him now being a transcendent being that is feeding off of and creating fear to level up. And then, so now you have all of these different...
And I hate this. I created him. Did you really?
Right.
He started off as a real human. And killed his sister before...
You were a baby.
Right,
yeah.
when this shit popped off.
Yeah.
I don't think you created that. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you were only creating shit in your diaper. Like, that's it.
Right.
It's not like she had enough time to grow up and torture him into being a dick.
Right.
No.
It's like he said he was already supernatural, but it seemed like the movie wasn't taking itself as being a supernatural person. The way that she was giving out her monologue, she made it seem like he's transcending. I'm like, he already, like you said, he already has transcended already.
No, that's what she was saying. He is that transcendent
right,
being.
Transcendent being. Like, he's already that being now.
Yeah,
it's like the movie was not trying to...
But that's too many different theories that they've popped out there. And keep in mind that while it was like, a couple years for us, this is all in one night for them. So they're just sitting in the room like, it's my fault. No, it's my fault. No, it's my fault.
Right.
No, you know what? No, he's fear himself. And then it's like, okay, so now what do we do?
He becomes Jason.
Start celebrating Christmas. This is why this shit happens to us.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Right. That's the horror movies. The horror people can't get nice things and all.
Laurie's gonna wear a Christmas hat in the next one.
Yep.
They're gonna.
There we go. It's gonna be Halloween.
Her daughter
Christmas.
was already wearing
the ugly sweater.
Ugly Christmas sweater this whole time.
Oh man.
Yeah, like I'm actually glad it'll have a few holes in it for the next round.
Right. Don't explain nothing. Fuck it. Don't explain anything. Just go back to killing.
I don't know. So yeah, unfortunately, it was definitely the writing itself that caused the issues for me, and I will watch the next one because I'm a horror movie junkie enough that I will be hard pressed to ignore it.
I think it was funny. We went into watching this, and her and I were laying in bed talking, and she was like, "What's going on?" And then I was like, "Did you not watch Halloween 2018?" She's like, "I don't think I did." And then all I said was, "Yeah, it ended with him being in this house fire." And then she gave me the full synopsis of the movie, and she's like, "Yeah, I did see it."
Right.
I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yep.
Look, if I don't watch something multiple times, It's normally because there was something about it that just was not intriguing enough, I suppose.
Or there was a swamp of sadness.
And it was a swamp
Well,
of
that
sadness.
too. And then it's hard for me to remember them all. Yeah, as soon as I caught on to some of the stuff that was happening in this last one, and
Right.
you said that it ended in the, I was like, oh yes, I remember that. Camp Strode.
Camp Strode.
Yeah, it was like the boot camps. But yeah.
But yeah.
I'll watch the next one just because I hate cliffhangers.
Halloween ends.
Like, I
Return.
want...
Please let it end, Lord.
Again.
Let this
It
shit end.
slays us. I want to see the conclusion of the story. I hate cliffhangers.
I want to see a conclusion to this story.
Please.
And then I want somebody at some point to reboot it. Because here's the problem. I feel like it's hard to carry on the Michael Myers story without a Dr. Loomis in there.
Right.
Obviously, you can't bring the original Dr. Loomis back.
Right.
Right.
Obviously, the dude that played Dr. Loomis for Rob Zombie's not going to come back and reprise a weird secondary role of the same character that's not really the same character. That wouldn't happen.
I mean, he died
So
in that one too.
If you're going to kind of reset things up, I feel like you need to get a Dr. Loomis in here that's going to be around for a few movies.
Right.
Right.
And a whole new style of story for it.
Right. If you're going to write a trilogy, write the entire trilogy at once and then give them all endings
Right.
that are not like the classic.
And I'm not against remakes.
No.
I never have been. I know there's a lot of people out there like, stop making horror remakes. No, don't. Because our kids need something entertaining to watch that's not classic. And I only say that because I'm telling you now, a lot of the stuff that we know as classics are boring as fuck to me.
Yep.
Well, and a lot of stuff that we love
it's boring as fuck to our kids.
That they know as classics. Yeah. It is what it is.
But yeah, and I do feel like that's one of the big things missing from this is if it's still the same night that Loomis is there, or was there.
He needs to be there.
He needs to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that does give opportunities for a brand new Dr. Loomis.
Right.
Make.
I have no idea for casting, by the way.
Yeah.
That's on y'all.
And if it's a complete remake,
fuck it, let Kane Hodder do it. Only because I love Kane.
Then you've got a Dr. Loomis that's the same size as Michael.
Exactly. Fuck that.
He's like,
I want...
yo, punk, you will listen to me.
Right.
Let Tony Todd be
and that's
Dr. Loomis.
That's not how Kane speaks. I've just, the type
No,
of Dr. Loomis that would be hilarious. That would be,
because he'd have that really dark tone with him.
Right.
Michael, what do you think you're doing?
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And why does that make you feel the way...
Tony Todd is my second favorite horror legend behind Robert Englund. As a matter of fact, it goes Robert, Tony, and then Kane. And they're all close. It's not like it's not like one's leaps and bounds ahead for me.
They're very close.
I feel like Englund, I've not seen one Robert Englund movie that he's in that I don't at least enjoy.
Right.
Even if I shit on it like Scream.
That's true.
And Tony Todd's almost up in that camp. I can only think of maybe one or maybe two that I don't really enjoy. But Kane
is in a lot of shit shows.
Kane is in a lot of shit shows. It's never because of his acting though. It's usually just because of whoever
Kane's
wrote
acting
the movie.
is actually spectacular, even if he doesn't say anything. Like, his acting is fantastic, and he always brings the most realism to a lot of the really bad ones. Like, he's the one that goes out of his way to make it as real as possible so that you get the actual reactions, but that does not negate some crappy writing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Anyway,
I think that is going to do it. Thanks to everybody for stopping in.
Release our hostage.
We'll release our hostage. He'll be able to go home.
Crying.
Thank you guys so much. Welcome to the new channel.
Now, touch my pillow.
Do not expect this to be a normal background. This is actually the Marvel background.
Well,
and even that's going to change.
Yeah, somewhat.
Eventually, everything's going to move downstairs from where we're at now, and that's where everything's going to be filmed. We have tons of. If you watch our reaction channel, we have tons of horror memorabilia up behind us there.
Right.
As a matter of fact, our bathroom is filled with horror stuff.
I have a ton of, actually, quite a few more bookshelves. Right. So things will get switched around, changed around. We have... different chairs, the whole 9 yards. So.
And bear with us. Give us a couple weeks. We kind of just wanted to do this because we know
Well, it was for
Halloween Kills is a big movie.
Yeah.
It just came
Yeah.
out. So we're putting this out. It'll probably be another 2-3 weeks before another video comes out because we're still organizing things and getting things together.
Plus, we've got the whole spooky season for our music reaction channel, and we've already promised X number per day, so it is one of those things.
And then I've got 12 comics and a movie and 5 episodes to watch this week.
We're going to have some fun with that one.
Right.
Right.
Did he tell you about that?
Yeah.
We have to film 2 weeks worth of
that's
podcast
right, 'cause
stuff because he's leaving the weekend after.
Oh.
That's why I was saying, like, I got to put 12 comics in.
That's your...
That's what I say, yeah.
12.
You think I won't? I'm going
You made my
12 comics,
shit
1 movie, and
list.
5 episodes of a TV
I'm about
show.
to Spark Notes everything.
That is one of the best songs off of the soundtrack from Natural Born Killers.
I got
No, the original Natural Born Killers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like.
Yep. I'm looking at a lot of
All right.
my face like.
So before we
He
dive,
gets his horror card
revoked.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be fair,
told
he's
you
not
I
a horror
tolerate
fan.
them. I don't-
No, I know.
Right.
But I was like,
We're also
no,
thinking of a series that's called Watch Pound Suffer,
Fuck, man. Really?
absolutely.
which would be us recording him watching a movie and us showing highlights from that movie, fucking him up,
Or I'll be disappointed. I might just be like.
or just him being
I'll
disappointed.
be like, hate it.
Jump scares are always awesome with you.
Oh, hey, there you are. What's up, bro? You've been there this entire
Right.
time?
Yeah.
I do it to him all the time at work. It's great.
Right. He got that evil vibe, like how he walks. I'm like, bro, you can't do that to a black person, dude. Like, that doesn't
What,
work
you mean
this way.
quietly?
Yeah, I run.
You mean like we don't stomp?
Yeah. I got size 16 feet, bro. I cannot do
So like
that.
there was one time, so like he's standing here, and I'm standing here on this side of him talking to him, and all of a sudden I decided I was going to go back to the office, and then I remembered I had to say something, so I turned around, but I made no noise turning around, and walked over to the other side of him, and he's just standing there talking, and then he looks down and sees me and actually jumps.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what up, Nick? How long you been there?
I was like, I just decided that I was going to carry on this conversation further.
Well, he walked straight into our house that one time, and I was standing in the kitchen.
And she said, I'm just making food. Fuck that. Don't do that. Like, that's just my natural. No. For me, it's not natural. Like, that's not natural for me.
One does not need to be noisy all the time.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You've always
Yes,
got
you
keys
are.
hanging around your neck. You
You-
jingle when
you
you
are-
walk.
Oh, I know in a horror movie, I'm dead. I know 100% I'm so dead. So very dead in a horror movie. But my legs he lives on as awesome.
He also does
Right.
not have an inside voice.
No, I don't.
So, anyway,
That's why he's the first from Mike.
Right. First one.
like
They-
twice the distance.
You
of
can
the
hear
two
him
of us.
just as well as we do.
Yep.
Like, you can hear him just as well as the neighbor can, honestly.
But yeah, so all we're asking is if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this type of thing, subscribe. We'll be back. It'll be, like I said, 2 to 3 weeks. At most, like a month.
We won't be popping up too often for a while, so
No.
feel
We
free
still-
to subscribe. You know.
We're still brewing here, so
Yeah.
thank y'all for watching,
Yay.
and welcome. We'll see you next time.
Excelsior.
I almost said Excelsior.
Excelsior.
That's the Marvel exit.
He's like,
Bye, guys.
Yeah, take it like a pause. Like, what?